Hello YouTube. Well, today I'm trying something new that I've not done before. I found some old pipe tobaccos that I'm never going to smoke, so I've decided to see if I can make some sort of snuff that's a reasonable quality out of them. I haven't got any of the fancy equipment that some of you guys have to make your own snuff, so all I'm using really is just a good old pestle and mortar, and I'm going to see how it goes. Take a video just to show what I'm doing, and then I'll show you a video once I've finished, and hopefully it'll be a reasonable snuff. That I'm doing here is drying out the tobacco a bit. I've laid it out on a couple of plastic sheets, and we've just got this small fan heater blowing warm air across the top just to dry it out. And this one's been out for about half an hour now. It's getting quite dry, it's nearly there. Just a bit of moisture left in it, so I'm going to wait for a little bit longer with this. This one's probably ready now. Hey guys, so after a very long time of trying to grind up the tobacco, I've done both two different kinds. I'll open them up here and show you. This is the second one you saw, the lighter one, and you can probably see there it's not very fine. So I'm not really happy with that one at all. What I'm thinking about doing now is I'm going to toast it under the grill, see if it gets a bit crispier, and then put it back into the pestle and mortar. Whereas this one's come out really well. It's not been sieved yet, so there are big bits in it. However, that is pretty fine. I don't know if you can really tell on the camera, but that's fine. I mean, in tobacco standards, it's not fine. A fine snuff, it'd be coarse, but I'm happy with that. So now what I'm going to do is take the light one, and I'm going to put it on this foil. Try and spread it out quite evenly. I mean, it feels really dry, but I think there's still some moisture in there that's stopping me from grinding it up too easily. I'm sure if you had a proper electric grinder, it'd be no problem just to whiz it up in that, but just for purposes of doing this, I'm going to dry it out a bit more. And I mean, I'm not necessarily expecting this to work out particularly well. This is just tobacco that would have gone in the bin otherwise, so I mean, it can't hurt, can it? And in here, I've mixed together some of the finer cherry tobacco with the plain tobacco, and I tried to grind that as well, but as you can see there, didn't come out too well either. So I'm going to put this in its own little tray so they don't get mixed up, and I'm going to toast this one as well under the grill just to see how it goes, and then give it a bit more grinding. So here's the two tobaccos ready to go under the grill, and I'll be back shortly with an update on how they've gone. Welcome back, guys. Well, I've just been mixing this in the pestle and mortar for probably about 2 minutes max, and it's created a lovely fine powder. Look at that just falling off there. This is the mix, the small amount that I put into the grill, and it's beautiful. I mean, it looks like snuff already. So what I'm going to do now is just separate this one into its own container, and then put the big load here into the pestle and mortar, and see whether that one mixes up just as well. And if it does, then what I'll do is make a batch that's a mix, probably 50-50 of the cherry mixed with the plain, and then I'll leave the rest of the plain on its own because I think it'll be quite nice. So I'm just going to pour all that straight into there and then start mixing. Okay, so that was literally only a minute or two of mixing, and if you can see in there, that's lovely and fine now compared to how it was before. Look at that, just crumbling around there. And the smell, I can't quite put my finger on it. It's a bit sweet, this one, really nice. So they're both ground up now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sieve them into the containers just so the snuff's like an even consistency, so there's no big lumps in there. First things first, we'll sieve the plain tobacco. Now I'm just using a normal sieve here. I don't have anything finer to strain it through. I'm just hoping this will catch any of the big bits. You know, I'm going to have to just deal with it. It's not going to be the finest of snuffs. So I'll just tip that gently in. So, here's my 3 sieved tobaccos, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do some mixtures and give them a snuff probably. So watch this space. So we're back in here with the ground up, sieved, toasted tobacco. And as you can see, it's looking pretty nice. It's really dry still, obviously it's not been rehydrated yet. I've just took a little pinch of it, and surprisingly nice actually. Sort of reminds me of popcorn or something, like slightly roasted. It smells nice too. And here's the this one's not been, this just dried naturally, but it's ground up reasonably coarse compared to the other one, but still fine enough. And took a pinch of that one. This is the cherry one, and it actually was a lot lighter than I thought it would be. It smells like it's going to be a really heavy sort of sweet snuff, but it wasn't really pleasant. So I'm not going to do what I was going to do, which was to mix them both together completely. I'm going to do a 50-50 mix, and I'm only going to use half of each of the mixtures, sorry, each of the tobaccos, to make it, because I don't want to. I want to keep a bit of both. So what I'm going to do now is move that out of the way, and in this container I'm going to mix about half of the plain tobacco. Still got about half left in there, maybe just a touch more. And then I'm going to mix that with about half of the cherry. close the lids on them. And then here you go, you can see the mixture. And I'm going to mix it just by strapping the lid on, giving it a good shake. Should get it evenly distributed. And there it is, mixed together, nice and even. Even though this is really dry, I'm just gonna take a quick pinch. Really pleasant actually. Just a hint of cherry there rather than being a blast of it. But because these ones are still quite dry, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and rehydrate them a little bit using the paper towel across the top of the tin method, like that. So what I'm going to do is put some water on top of here, and then I'm going to strap the lid on and leave it overnight, or I'll keep checking it every few hours just to make sure, and then we'll see what it's like, see if it gets any moisture. I made a bit more distilled water in my lovely pink bowl just now, so yeah, I'll get them on and then we'll have a look. So the damp towel's now in. Here you can see it. It's just, I'm not sure if I've done this right, but it's basically clamped inside, and then the middle bit is dampened with the distilled water. This one's the, I don't know if you can see that. That's the cherry plain mix, and then we've got the cherry and the plain together here. There you go, cherry there. So they're just, I don't know if you can see very well inside there, let me lift that. So it's the snuff in the bottom, and then on the top is just some damp kitchen towel. And I'll leave those together until they're ready, just down here. And that's basically the process of making your own snuff from old pipe tobacco. And I mean, it's not going to be the best quality snuff in the world, but it's better than throwing it away. If it's you know, if it's reasonably acceptable quality, then there's no need to throw the tobacco away. You might as well make use of it. And all it takes is a little bit of work and a little bit of know-how. So why not try it yourself if you've got some old pipe tobacco at home? And if you do, let me know. Post it in the comments, or make a video and link it to me. I'd love to watch any of you guys who've made your own tobacco. That'd be fantastic. That's all for me for now. I'll drop another video on the channel when I've finished hydrating the snuff, and I'll give it a test and maybe give it a little review just to see how it went. Thanks again for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please like it, and if you would subscribe here, subscribe if you enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon.